Hi, we're working on a hula hoe today. It's a stirrup hoe or a hula hoe. We use a lot of them here at the farm. Well, and I think of Abraham Lincoln, and what the saying that he was quoted as saying was, if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, the first 4 hours I'd spend sharpening my axe, and the next 2 hours I'd spend chopping down the tree. So that's why we try to maintain our tools as sharp and as efficient as possible. We'll start with the hula hoe, and we'll come on over here, and these are some of the tools we're going to be using. First of all, we want to clean our tool before we sharpen it. So we'll be using soaking first of all, soaking our hula hoe in the water. So we'll just set these aside, and we'll grab a hula hoe here. It's all soaked up and ready to go. We'll wash it off. It's been soaking, so most of the dirt is gone, and it's pretty clean already. Then we're going to dry our tool. I'm going to show you some features of the hula hoe. On the hula hoe, this surface here and this surface here are the sharp surfaces. These surfaces are not sharp, they're dull, so they supposedly don't cut into the drip lines, and they also protect the plant on the sides. It's just mainly so that this runs the rod underneath the weeds, separates the weeds from the roots. And so we've got many tools that we're going to use today, and included in that is safety goggles and safety mask if needed, and then gloves. We recommend gloves because we're working around sharp objects and metal shards, so we want to make sure that we protect ourselves from that. So we're going to continue with the hula hoe, and we want to make sure that it is clamped either in a vise, or we can also clamp it in our legs. Since we're at the farm, we don't always have the same tools as you would have in a shop, and so we kind of make do, but we want to make sure that our safety is really number one in what we're doing. I don't wear goggles because I have my glasses or the safety goggles, and that's how we start. So we have two different types of files. One of them is a cross hatch file, and the other one is a straight file. The cross hatch, they also call it a coarse, really super coarse file, is for tools that need a starter of sharpening. If it's really, really dull, you want to take a lot of material off, then you'd use the crosshatch file. Then to do the finalize it and sharpen it, at the last step was the plain single file. Then we also have a file cleaner, which is a steel brush that you would stroke the file and clean the filings out of the file. So we'll start with this and the double cross file, and we hold it with two hands. We try to match the angle of the blade that's already been sharpened from the factory. Okay, and so we place the file in that location with that angle of cut, and we strike it going down the file that direction. We have to get a little different angle. So we strike it, one strike, stroking it across the surface. Okay, and you can see from the surface where the dirt and rust are disappearing, and the shininess of the metal is appearing, and that means we're getting rid of some of the old metal and sharpening our tool. Okay, we're going to do the same on this side. These are a little bit more difficult to get. We can go at this angle. You can see the sharpness of the tool starting to appear. Okay, and then we're going to take the single file and stroke slowly across it. Notice we go one direction. We don't go back and forth across this, because then the grooves of the blades of each of the file fill up with old metal filings. And so if you go a single stroke, just like this, you will end up with a cleaner file, stays sharper longer, and a sharper edge on your blade of your Hula Hoe. So we do this, try to do it equal number of times for each of the surfaces. Now we're going to do the underside. I don't know if it's that necessary on the Hula Hoe, but we're going to stroke that. This tool doesn't have to be as sharp as a knife. It just needs to be sharp enough to cut the weed stock. Okay?